Before colonizations, Africans didn't need horoscopes. We already knew how to read the sky.
My name is Noreen and this is Real Africa Stories.
So astrology is something I've always had an interest in, not in a gimmicky way, not in a daily horoscope sense, but in the deeper idea of cycles, timing, and understanding when a season is changing. And that's important because before colonization, Africa already had this knowledge. We didn't call it astrology the way it's called today, but we understood time differently. Through the land, through the stars, through the seasons, harvests, droughts, and power shifts. This knowledge was held by elders, passed through community, and rooted in observation, not superstition. So when I talk about the astrology for Africa in 2026, I'm not predicting the future. I'm talking about the kind of season Africa is moving into. So here's the simple layman's version. 2026 is not a soft year. It's a year where power gets questioned. Across the continent, young people are already saying, "You don't speak for us anymore." That's not noise, that's a cycle turning. Astrologically, 2026 carries strong energy around collective power, people over old systems, networks over hierarchies, community voices over inherited authority. If you look at Africa right now, that already fits. Another big theme for 2026 is leadership. Not leadership as image, but leadership as responsibility. This is a year where leaders are tested, not by opposition parties, but by exposure. Those who rule through fear, force, or ego struggle. Those who build quietly, ethically, and with the future in mind gain ground. And that's very African. In many pre-colonial societies, leadership wasn't about dominance. It was about service to the people and the unborn generations. That standard is returning. There's also something else happening in 2026. Illusions start breaking. The myth of the savior, the one man, the one solution imported from somewhere else. People begin asking harder questions like, is this real change or just performance? That questioning is not new. It's ancient African wisdom resurfacing. And finally, stories, information, history, language. 2026 is a year where Africa tells its own story louder, not waiting for approval, not asking permission, just speaking, which again is exactly what our ancestors did. So no, this isn't about stars controlling Africa. It's about remembering that Africa has always understood timing, when to plant, when to resist, when to wait, when to rebuild. So 2026 feels like one of those turning seasons. I want to be clear though, I'm not an astrologer. I'm sharing this from a layman's perspective, rooted in African history and pre-colonial ways of understanding cycles. If there are any professional astrologers out there, especially African or African-focused astrologers, who can add depth, insight, or even correction to this conversation about Africa in 2026, I would genuinely love to hear from you. This is how knowledge used to be shared, collectively. So I'll leave you with this question. What kind of ancestor are you becoming in this season? This is the Africa you're not shown, but I'm here to show you.